Warships. They are naval ships built and primarily intended for naval warfare. With a body of steel, they are designed to withstand damage and are usually faster and more maneuverable than merchant ships. But what happens when these monster crafts face one of the deadliest forces sent by Mother Nature? Storm. Storms at sea are scary experiences. High walls of water, moved by powerful winds, slam into warships. Modern warships are designed to withstand the heaviest weather and stay on their mission. But hurricanes are the largest and the most dangerous storms on the sea. To make it through hurricanes, warships need good weather information. A century ago, weather updates were limited to Morse code messages. But since the 1980s, weather updates have come to printers or fax machines. Today, captains have more high-tech panels and display aboard, like onboard computer systems that help plan routes based on weather information. What you can get on a computer when at home, you can also have it while at sea through a satellite connection. Unlike aircraft, warships don't head for the nearest port when a hurricane is predicted, because not all ports have the same kind of protection and shelter. If ever they would decide to approach a port, they would need to find what is called a hurricane hole. It is a port with surrounding high cliffs and mountains around the port that would protect a ship from the winds. Once in the port, they need to anchor the ship and will leave room in the anchor chain to avoid the movement of the waves from snapping the chain. They may also need to put the ship's engine in reverse. This will then put pressure on the anchor. There's not much else you can do but to just hope and pray to God. If you are in the wrong port when a hurricane approaches, it can be very dangerous. US Navy ships weather through rough storms all the time, and they are built to withstand hurricanes. But when close to hard piers, they're susceptible to damage or even grounding. Ships usually hammered inside against the docks during hurricanes that will surely suffer heavy damage to its side. This kind of bombardment takes a toll on the dock too. There are ports that are very dangerous that ships will need to go out to the open sea because it is much safer riding out the hurricane at sea rather than when they are in port. The best plan is to go away from the path the hurricane is taking. Modern aircraft carriers can produce a maximum speed of over 31 knots. With this speed, you should be able to outrun a hurricane. However, the later you leave the hurricane course, the greater the danger and less options you will have. But if all else fails and the warship must face a hurricane at sea, the best way is to try to steer for the area of the ocean where the waves are shallow with the lowest winds. If Category 3 to 5 hurricane is predicted, the CSG or Carrier Strike Group Commander gets the group out quickly off the hurricane path. An aircraft carrier protocol is to never leave other warships and vice versa, unless it is an extreme emergency. In the embrace of the storm, a warship's survival depends on two things: sea room and steering way. Sea room is the space where the ship can safely sail far from anything it might crash into, like a coastline for example. Navy ships try to stay away offshore if a major storm at sea is coming. If a ship is close ashore, the storm can drive the ship onto the land and wreck it. It is safer for a warship to be far out in the open sea in the storm because there are no rocks or shoreline for the ship to crash into. Steering way is moving forward with enough power to steer rather than just getting pushed around by waves and wind. The warship must keep its front end pointing into the waves in order to go through them safely. A huge wave striking the ship's side could roll it over and sink it. Waves and wind will turn the ship over, and fighting against them requires forward momentum. The classic strategy is to always sail away from the storm's path, which is usually always to the right side as it gets closer to you. Winning a fight against a storm at sea depends on having a well-maintained ship, a trained and experienced crew, and a lot of protection from the higher power.